for that. He gonna remember that moment, man. When that judgment come upon him, he gonna remember that moment, man. He gonna remember how he was in front of Todd telling me you're wrong. How he was in front of us saying that we're wrong. And he's going to have to answer for that.
And we're being sincere, and we're trying to pluck his ass out the fire, man.
But he wanted to stay in the fire.
That's why you got to get Hebrew.
All right, we're going to go there next. Go on, brother.
For by thy words thou shalt be justified.
For by that, you heard that, brothers? For by thy words thou shalt be justified. Go on.
And by thy words thou shalt be condemned.
So he's condemned, man. He's condemned.
Yeah, he condemned himself.
For a piece of ass, listen up, for a piece of ass, he condemned himself. Hebrews 4:1. Let us therefore fear, lest the promise.
He didn't fear.
Oh, he didn't fear. He didn't have
He
no
didn't
fear.
consider whether this is the truth. Yep. And then he was whispering at him, you know, the law, and if you keep, you got to keep the whole. Like he was insinuating that we're scribes and Pharisees.
Yeah.
Right. And then I said, when I overheard him, I said, yeah, we're supposed to keep the law.
Right.
Paul kept the law.
That's right.
But the law is not going to save us. Right. But if you believe in the Lord, you're going to do what he's. Abraham said this. The scripture said this about Abraham. It says, because he believed, it was accounted unto him unto righteousness. But it said that Abraham obeyed all the laws, statutes, and judgment of the Most High.
Yeah, there you go. And then
he kept the laws,
yep.
but what accounted him for righteousness was the fact that he believed.
Yeah,
all right,
faith.
He had faith.
Then you had scribes and Pharisees that were righteous. A case in point, Nicodemus. So he was trying to say that all the scribes and Pharisees were wicked. What about
Paul was a scribe?
What about Yahushua's secret disciple? He was a Pharisee.
The two disciples, they were disciples in Acts 15 chapter. They were righteous.
Yeah.
You know.
So
they were the scribes and Pharisees that believed.
Right.
I mean, they believed in the Lord.
Right. You had them. Matter of fact, in Acts,
one of them. But there were many of them.
I'm glad you said that, Tahar.
That's why we try to keep the law to the best of our ability, because we can't, you know, nobody ain't gonna know all 613 laws.
Because in Acts, it mentions that. Acts 15. Right. Acts 15 and 5. But there rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees which believed.
That meant that they were righteous.
Right.
Pharisees.
All right.
You know.
But there rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees which believed, saying that it was needful to circumcise them. We're talking about the Israelites among the Gentiles that converted.
Which they were right. You were supposed to circumcise yourself.
Right.
But there were so many believers coming in that their parents went off, that, you know, don't worry about it. When you get it, you get it. That's why after you read that, you got to go to Colossians, was that Colossians 2 and 16?
Okay, read this. But there rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees which believed, saying that it was needful to circumcise them and to command them to keep the law of Moses. And the apostles and elders came together for to consider of this matter. And when there had been much disputing,
yeah, because they were right when they said that. Yeah. But they were disputing against it because you had to have an understanding that a lot of these people coming in. So the main thing was get that faith. Right. But eventually they were going to start keeping the law.
Yeah, build that faith. Right.
Can I read this real quick, brother? Just back, and then you can continue on. This is Romans chapter 14, verse 5.
What was the one you called for?
One man esteemeth one day above another. One man esteemeth one day above another. Another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind.
On the money.
Because when you're fully persuaded, then you start to keep certain laws, and you know, to the best of your ability.
Yeah, because not everybody, you got brothers in the audience that haven't grown a beard, but we ain't gonna put a gun to your head. You gotta build. We ain't put a gun to your head, brother. We need to put a sword to your throat, brother. You made this thing. But you know what? But that's, you know, I'm just using them as an example. But just as a brother read that, man, you got different brothers on different levels, man.
Right.
You know. Now when I came into this thing, they man said you got to grow your bed, don't eat pork, which I wasn't eating pork any damn way. But I said anything y'all say in the law, I'm following. My bed just started growing, you know?
Guess what? The Spirit will convict you. Everything that you used to do is
well,
everything
I just did it, man. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to do it.
I used to drink beer. I don't drink beer no more. You
can drink beer though. strong drink.
Yeah, that's that Christian.
That's that church.
Since you said that, I'm gonna have a drink tonight.
Yeah. Hey, brother, in this hell you need a strong drink.
That's in the scriptures.
You need something to the dome, man. This brother knows.
Yeah, I drink some wine.
Yeah, that's right. This is a wine bibber right here.
Yeah.
Colossians 3. This is the one you called for, Tom. Colossians 3 and 10. And have put on the new man. That's what you wanted, right?
Colossians 2:16.
No. Colossians 2 and 16.
Oh, 2 and
Knowing
16.
that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahweh Shai
You
Mashiach.
got Galatians.
No,
Colossians. I got it.
No. That's Galatians. I wanted
Colossians.
Colossians.
I got it.
Colossians.
Colossians 2 and 16.
But that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Anyway, man. That doesn't sound like the right one, but it was going. Cuts,
Oh, that's the one. Okay.
Go ahead.
Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days. Which
So
are
that's why we know that the Sabbath comes based upon the new moon, and these guys are getting all mad about it. But we ain't saying, look, you got to keep it the way you want to keep it, man. Because what did the Lord say? He said you got to rehearse the righteous acts.
That's right.
Maybe you ain't got the understanding of it. Maybe you didn't get the memo.
Right.
And you still keeping Friday, sundown, and Saturday, sundown. As long as you honor that, the Most High, He knows your heart. You know?
process, right?
Yep.
Which are a shadow of things to come. But the
Which are a shadow of things to come. Why did He say that? He's saying the law is really a shadow of things to come, because we're really not keeping the law anyway.
Rehearse the right.
We're rehearsing. That's why He said that. Because when the things to come is a kingdom, you better keep the law. But you know what? You're going to keep the law because the Most High going to put that spirit on you that you do keep the law.
That's the new covenant.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's the Hebrews. That's right, brother. Go ahead.
Hebrews 9 and 1. Then verily the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service and a worldly sanctuary.
What do you mean by a worldly sanctuary? Does anybody know that? What does it mean by a worldly sanctuary? A worldly sanctuary means they had an actual building that the high priest went through, temple, right? And they went through the high priest. Not all priests can go in there. The high priest, like Aaron, he was able to go in that curtain.
Right.
All right, he was the only one that could do that.
Oh, you talking about the ark, you mean?
And that's
Right, the ark was in there. The ark was in there. But now, when the Lord was on the throne, on the cross, when He said it is finished, what happened? That curtain split in half. Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 2. For there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was the candlestick and the table and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary. And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all.
You had to go through that veil, and only the high priest Aaron and his sons could do it.
Priest. That's where they put bells around the priest. So
Exactly.
if he had to drop a sin on his body,
That's right.
they had to pull him out.
Exactly, and then you had to wear trousers because the angels wasn't going to look up there and look at your, what's in between your legs. It was all ceremonial. Right, it was all ceremonial. Go ahead.
Which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about it with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant.
The rod, it was a tree stump that actually budded. That was spiritual right there.
It wasn't even in the ground.
That's right. Go ahead.
And over it the cherubims of the glory.
See, why you think them so-called Jews want to be, them fake Jews want to be Jews so bad? Because they didn't read these records. They said, man, these are the baddest people on the planet, man. Let's teach the word, let's lie and say that we them people. Maybe we'll get maybe the Most High forget. Oh yeah, those are the people. Nah. Right, exactly. That's why they over there in the land of Israel, man. Go ahead.
And over it the cherubims of glory shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly.
Yeah, hold that.
Now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of the Most High. But into the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people. The Holy Spirit this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing.
Yeah, but go ahead.
And then that's why, like Tahar mentioned earlier, when Yahushua died on the cross, the temple, the veil rent, because that veil at one particular time represented the law. Just like Moses, when